5 steps to create a harmonic marketing campaign, powered by SEO, with Joseph Kahn. In Search SEO podcast is brought to you by Rank Ranger, the all-in-one SEO platform that helps scale your business through data and analytics. Hey, it's David. Is it really possible for other marketing channels to positively impact your SEO efforts? And if so, how? That's what we're going to be discussing today with a drummer who plays in a band with Katy Perry's Grammy Award-winning guitar player. Nowadays, he uses his SEO skills to create harmonic marketing roadmaps, helping his clients scale the heights of Google. He's the founder of the Atlanta-based digital marketing agency HumJam. A warm welcome to the In Search SEO podcast, Joseph Kahn.
Hey, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, check out those drums, yeah. Well, I'll just say you can find Joseph over at snap.link/Joseph S. Kahn. So, Joseph, what do you mean by a harmonic marketing campaign, and why does it really matter?
It matters because just like you don't like listening to one note and recognize a song, you can't do one factor and Google recognize where that belongs. Meaning, I took the same thing in music when I got into SEO and said, look, in order to make a chord that you recognize, if I played 2 songs in Happy Birthday, you would recognize it. Why? Because they're using harmonic factors. That's why you recognize Happy Birthday. With just 3 or 4 notes, you recognize it. This is what I've applied to Google because I noticed if I just do one thing, it doesn't move the bar on my ranking. Meaning if I use one ranking factor like the title tag or a keyword phrase or whatever, if I just do one thing, that's like a one note chord. So I developed and built what I call chords or harmonic SEO chords. And that basically has more than one thing. You have primary notes, a key, you have all kinds of things. So I have like 5 different things that go in a 5-note chord. And now chords can even go bigger than 5 notes, and sometimes they're necessary depending on what you're accomplishing. And chords can even be 3 notes. Chords can't be 1 though. Meaning most SEOs make the biggest mistake where they focus on one thing or they focus on backlinks. Backlinks is one part of the chord. That's not the whole chord. That's one part of the chord. So you're not going to move the dial with just one piece of the chord. You need the whole chord. You need the whole 3 notes to go in, the 5 notes to go into the thing to make the song, to make the results that you want.
I guess even in terms of backlinks, you've got a chord there as well, because you've got multiple forms of links as well. And if you just hone in on the one form of links, then Google are going to say that's not natural. We're not going to rank this website based upon those links.
Correct. Yeah. Each, even the backlinks, because you got the topical relevance of the backlink, you got the authority of the backlink, you got different things about that. And that chord, because one backlink could be the wrong backlink. And that could be the wrong chord, meaning it's not, you think, I'm just going to throw this backlink, it's going to make this work, but that could be a weird sounding note to go to that and make it horrible, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure everything is in complete harmony, and when you do that, when you harmonize your results versus just throw in techniques or tactics, when you harmonize everything, it makes the massive difference.
And I know quite a few SEOs who are musicians as well, so I'm sure it resonates quite nicely with many SEOs out there. So the harmonic process that you recommend is 5 steps. So starting off with keyword intention. So what's that all about?
It starts off with kind of focusing on when we want to harmonize with the searcher. That's basically what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that the searcher that's coming is going to come to our page and convert to what we need them to convert to, meaning get on our list or become a subscriber or whatever it is that we're looking for searchers, our original intent. So we want to make sure that we match what they're looking for. That's number 1. Okay, so we can't harmonize. If I don't know what song you're looking for, if I don't know what mood you're in, if I don't know any of that kind of stuff, I can't be a good Spotify. I can't put music in your ears that you want to listen to. So that's what we have to do. Number 1, we have to start with, what is the listener wanting to listen to? What is their intentions? What are they coming in? And what is that first note that we need to center on, that we need to build the chord around? That's basically what we're doing, is starting with a chord, like a C. I don't know, the musicians out there, C, like a C chord. We're starting with a chord. Yeah, CEG, the first, third, fifth, we're starting with the chord and we're going to build around that. The first part of that is what do you want to listen to? What is that harmony that you're trying to create? What is that? And that starts with the listener.
What does that look like in practice?
It usually, Usually, it starts with the guy or girl at the top. Meaning, I want to know from the person who owns the site, the product, whatever. Let's talk about your prospect. Let's talk about what they want. Let's talk about their needs. I guess you've heard this before. Where you start with an avatar. You start with what is the intentions? What is their problems? What's their pain points? And what does your product solve that you know that they're looking for? There was a couple of clients we went through where they were typing in their actual keyword from the actual niche itself. And I'm like, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for the problem or the challenge. Let's hone in there. And once we honed in there, everything blossomed. The chords created. Because we honed in on the searcher intent, not what you have. Everybody wants to be me. Okay, and even the SEOs, when they go to keyword research and articles, I've seen it 1,000 times, they're all focused on me. They're not focused on the searcher. Okay, they're focused on me. Look what I got. Look what I'm doing. Look what me. But look what I can offer you. Look what I can offer you. They don't care what you can offer them. They care what can you solve my problem. That's a totally different chord than me. It's a we, or a you. You got to determine what it is that they want. Do you know what I mean? And so it starts with sitting with the CEO or the president or the owner of the company and saying, let's talk about your searchers. Let's talk about your prospects. What are they looking for? Not what do you have? What are they looking for? What's their problems that you're trying to solve?
And your step number 2 is SEO content. So does that mean write the content with the keyword and the intent in mind?
Correct. That is exactly what it means.
So I guess, what are the common mistakes that brands are making at the moment? Are they just writing with the keyword in mind? And I guess, how do they know the definitive intention behind the keyword phrase? Is that something that they just think about themselves? Do they have calls with prospects to identify?
Yes, they could do that, but what we do to make it quickly as possible, especially for even the listeners, is just competitive research. Meaning take all of the phrases that you believe are the intentions of the searcher and then put that into Google. Do a SERP audit, meaning, look at the search results and see what's listed there and then click them all. Open them, see the articles that's there. Do a little research on what's there. That's how you know the intention. If everything that's there in that top 20 is not what you're creating, then you're not doing it right. Meaning, if what you're typing in and all the top 20 is not what you're doing, then you need to think about what's the intention here. You know what I mean? So it takes a little competitive research. That's in order to know what we're going to create. We want to kind of match what that top result is. Okay. And you could go, well, no, my thing actually matches better than the 20 that's there. That's going to be a hard row. That's going to be hard to do. You know what I'm saying? You want to kind of get in harmony with the results that's already there for that content. You're going to look at that. You're going to do some analysis on that. You're going to take your phrase that you're like, this is what I know the people are looking for. Then I'm going to put that in and I'm going to do an analysis on that top 20 there. And I'm going to see, is any of this look like what I'm creating? It should. And I should be focused on this, because if I create something in harmony, what we want to do is create something better, right? We want to do it better than the 20 that's there. We want to answer the questions. We want to answer the searcher intention. So that's why we do hone in on the questions. What are the questions that people are asking? What are the, so we dive into the content. That's that other factor is once we know their intentions, we want to dive into the content. And that content starts with the research. What's out there that's already created? What's the resources we could pull in to answer that intention? That goes in that content. And semantically, meaning we want to make sure that we're answering the intention correctly, because keyword placement makes a big difference in the intentions of what you're trying to say. If I'm trying to sell you a course on sales or trying to tell you how to sell, it may look kind of the same in a keyword pattern, but it's not the same from a semantic intention-based thing. And Google knows the difference. Meaning they know if you're trying to sell a course on how to sell or trying to teach somebody how to sell, they know the difference, although the keywords look the same on the paper. So we want to make sure that the keywords don't look the same on the paper, that your SEO isn't just spouting out an AI, that's big mistake today is they throw it in AI tools, and AI tools don't know the intention. They're just spouting words that match together, and that's not going to get you ranked. What's going to get you ranked is going, well, no, this person's looking for how to sell. I need to make sure this is teaching how to do that. If this is not doing that, then telling them I have a course to sell is not going to get this article listed. I'm listed, if you search advanced SEO course, I'm beating Neil Patel. I'm up there with Udemy or whatever on the search phrase that's not doing very much. Meaning I don't have a course there. There's no advanced SEO course there. Although if you search that, you'll find my website, my webpage, only because I harmonized just to test this out, to make sure that it worked. We harmonized that phrase based on the searcher intention and everything. And guess what? We're ranking in the top with Udemy and these different things, and I don't have a course there. Only because I said, what are people looking for? When they type that phrase in, what is the thing they're looking for? They're not looking for a Udemy course, even though Udemy's in the top. But see, Udemy didn't target that correctly. I easily targeted that and got a search phrase, even though I only had a 6 DA, very low. So it wasn't about the backlink that got that listed. You know what I'm saying? Meaning it's about the harmony. It was about the chord that we put together. It wasn't even about the amount of content that was on the page. All these ranking factors you hear, it's got to have content, it's got to have this, it's got to have that. It doesn't have to have any of those things if it's in harmony with what Google wants.
If you don't have a course, does that not mean that you're not fully matching the intent? And the likelihood is that your rankings, if you are ranking high for that keyword phrase now, will quickly go down because you're perhaps not offering the intent?
It definitely will. It definitely will.
Okay.
It definitely will. It's a trick. It's a trick for the game of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's
I just wanted to cover that thought that was probably in many listeners' mind as well.
Yeah, they're probably like, oh crap, that's not cool. But listen, it is cool because there is stuff coming to that page. Okay. There's stuff coming to that page. But it was like a pre-thing. Let me test this out and see if I can just harmonize the quick intentions and see if this works semantically placing keywords on the page. And it worked. I was like, okay, this stuff actually works. So
your step number 3 is email campaign. Are you saying that email can actually favorably impact SEO?
Yes. From the harmonizing perspective, only because and a lot of people do this in a different way. It's basically, it's traffic generation. You're increasing the intentions or the searcher volume and everything using an email campaign. So what we like to do to harmonize to make this work better is if we have people already pre-built on a list around the content, meaning if say you're in the basket weaving niche and you're collecting basket weavers on a list and you launch an article on whatever that keyword phrase is that you feel like, and you put that in your social media campaign, your email marketing, you have a topically relevant email that goes out about that article, that email that goes out about that article that's in harmony with it, that has links to it, where people click on the link and then go to, we've tested with adding email campaigns to any, so you launch your article, most people send backlinks to that, or most people will even do a share on social media to that. If you do an email campaign blast to that, it actually generates enough traffic. Google sees the traffic. So it stimulates this. There must be a reason why this is getting traffic. And I believe that through Gmail and through different cookie bots and different trackers that it can see that there's interest going out with this keyword, this topical relevance phrase. Now, I don't have any tools that can verify and make that 100% fact. Again, we're talking SEO here, but when you add that email campaign to your article that you're blasting, it makes a huge difference. It seems to magically lift it off of the ground. It lifts it off of the ground versus not having an email campaign at all. I mean, in the search listings, not just in traffic. In the search listings, it lifts it up.
Absolutely. So I actually interviewed Rand Fishkin quite a few years ago. And at the time, I think he was still with Moz. And he shared with me that he did some tests on a newsletter that he sent out. And he used to send out newsletters with links, obviously, to Moz and other sites as well, maybe top five SEO articles of the week, I think it was. And he reckoned that he could measurably notice an increase in rankings because of the click-throughs from that. And what he reckoned was Google was testing, and it saw that there was increased levels of traffic going to that link. It didn't necessarily know exactly where that traffic came from.
Almost like your CTR manipulation.
Yeah.
And people manipulate CTR in order to get higher rankings too. It's in a way kind of the same
that's
thing.
part of it as well. So if Google sees that that particular link, that particular resource gets a higher click-through rate from search as a result of its tests in putting it higher in their SERP, then it's probably more likely to keep that link higher there for the long term.
Yeah, because it's fulfilling the intentions, meaning Google wants the searcher to be happy.
So your step number 4, social campaign. Is that a similar kind of mindset that you're approaching that with, so that you're trying to drive more traffic to the organic results with a view to hopefully getting Google to notice it more? Yes,
that's in the same vein as email. It's just another note. It's just another, you're adding the trombone. Is basically, you're building the band, you're building the chord, you're building like rhythm too. We want a rhythm. I've heard the term velocity used in link building and different things. You have a rhythm. You got a rhythm going. You got to know how quickly to go up, because you can't just blast and go fast sometimes, because then Google will go, you got to have the rhythm. You got to set the tempo. Once you got the tempo, and it's different for different, clients or different websites, because some that are around for 10 years, their tempo is different than some that's just starting. So there's all that goes in there. Now, when it comes to the social media, same thing. You got to warm up accounts. You can't just come in and blast. We've had clients that's like, oh, I'm just going to go in and just do 50 posts a day on Facebook. No, you're not. Their account got shut down really fast. No, you're not. That's not the way it works. You gotta harmonize, right? And so what we do is we make sure that we hit in each campaign that we roll out. So we don't just roll out the article and we're done. Okay, we roll out the article. It's got to go along with the topically relevant email campaign that then goes along with some social media memes and posts and content. I would say 3 or 4 on Twitter, on LinkedIn, depends on your niche on the social media. But 3 or 4 of the main social media tools that's out there, you want that link that's going to your new article that you want ranked. You want those posting out also within the week of release. We have a timing of the email, of the social media, of the blast, and then we want to try to get some links or some things to the page if we can. We want other people to share it also. That makes a difference in this social part of it. Meaning if we can get other people to share it or say, hey, do this and share this or retweet this or whatever, that also makes a difference. I believe there's some EAT that goes into that, that, we see that there's some authority or expertise going on here, and that if it's shared, people are sharing it, and, different things like that, I think go all into that. But that's kind of a harmonizing factor there.
And your step number 5 is CRM. So how does that fit into things?
That's all the automation of making sure everything is connected. And CRM is not as much as responsible for ranking at the top as much as it is for closing the intention of the searcher. So meaning if the CRM connects your interstitials, for us at least, meaning when somebody opts in. So somebody's coming in and they're looking for how to sell, or like I use this as an example. Interrupting them or getting them on a list, that's why we always start with top of the funnel when we first go, because it's easier to get the long tail phrases to do this with, and then interrupt them and bring them through this harmony sequence, which is basically an email campaign sequence that's also relevant to what they're looking for, relevant to the thing that they're after. And generally speaking, your giveaways or the gifts or the things are going to be topically relevant to the overall. It should be overall to get them on the list, but the CRM is going to send them multiple. And this is why I say CRM, because CRM is like having a sequencer in your band, which means what we can do is we can add, if we're doing 4 articles, we can add those in our autoresponder sequence. So we don't have to do broadcasts every time, meaning if we've got 4 articles this month, it's in our autoresponder sequence and somebody opts in, those 4 articles that we are going out right now, people are clicking on, people are going to, we add that to our CRM. Meaning we make sure that any of the things that we're pushing goes into our CRM sequence so that it gets clicked to anybody that's coming.
And I could ask so many follow-up questions about all of this, and I'm dying to, but I won't, because hopefully we can carry on this conversation in a follow-up episode. But for now, let's move on to
the Pareto Pickle.
So Pareto says that you can get 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts. So what's one SEO activity that you would recommend that provides incredible results for modest levels of effort?
The easiest and that will give you the biggest bang for the buck, even in these harmonic ranking factors, is making sure your title of your page matches the searcher intent. If the title of the page matches the keyword that you're phrasing, that it needs to be in there. It doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be in there. That's every result on SEO comes down to the title of the page, the H1 title. So if your keyword's you're not going to rank. Like, meaning that's it. That's what the golden keyword rule is, all in title searching, that kind of thing. You want to make sure if you get that right, that's, I would say 90% of that's your main note of the chord is your title that's on your page.
That's your click-through rate sorted.
Yep.
Great advice there. I've been your host, David Bain. You can find Joseph over at snap.link/Joseph S. Kahn. Joseph, thanks so much for being on the In Search SEO podcast.
It was amazing. Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening. Check out all the previous episodes and sign up for a free trial of the Rank Ranger platform over at rankranger.com.